Tonight, our Terrorism Alert Desk, a new segment looking at the latest on the war on terror. We will look into the ISIS connection with the Paris attacks and recent attacks throughout the world.
And Iowa Catholic bishops asked the governor to reconsider not allowing Syrian refugees into the state. We'll have their thoughts straight ahead.
Plus, I'm Abigail James, and with colder weather rolling in, I will show you some tips to make sure your vehicle is ready for that cold winter chill. Coming up on KHQA News at 5.
This is KHQA News at 5, working for you.
Our top story tonight, terror continues to grip Paris after last Friday's attack left 129 people dead.
New information from France tonight. Forensic teams are still poring over the scene of an overnight raid in a Paris suburb.
Several terrorists were arrested or killed, but it's not yet known who they are. Kenneth Craig reports from the Paris suburb, Saint Denis.
French officials have not yet revealed the identities of the suspected terrorists killed or arrested in an overnight raid in Saint-Denis. Police stormed the building and met heavy resistance.
There was an exchange of gunfire, very active gunfire, with about 5,000 bullets.
Amateur video captured police leading some of the suspects away in handcuffs. At least 2 others were killed, including one man and a female suicide bomber who blew herself up. Forensics teams are combing the scene for evidence. Residents are scared.
Many police, many military, and we are so terrified.
The raid here in Saint-Denis was one of more than 400 across France that have been happening since the attacks. The status of the suspected ringleader in the Paris attacks, Abdelhamid Aboud and fugitive Salah Abdeslam, is still unclear.
Aboud and Salah Abdeslam are not being held. We are still looking for them.
Authorities have identified all 129 of the deceased. Mourners are still gathering in a central plaza to pay tribute and trying to get on with their lives.
We will try to keep as usual, but things has changed forever, I think, in Paris.
The number of injured was updated to 368. More than half are still hospitalized. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, Saint-Denis, France.
We want to get you right to the latest on terrorism on this new segment of KHQA News, the Terrorism Alert Desk.
This segment focuses on terrorism and its threat across the world. Here's Jonathan Elias in Washington with what we're watching now.
Jonathan Elias at the Terrorism Alert Desk in Washington. The suspected ringleader, Abdelhamid Aboud of the Paris attack, was not arrested in the massive police raid north of the capital, but could be among those killed. 2 other people were killed, 7 others arrested. The French prosecutor's office also says that the raid came just in the nick of time, thwarting another attack that they believe was going to target the business district of Paris. And the Islamic State's official magazine is claiming that this, or something very much like it, is the bomb that brought down the Russian jetliner over Egypt's Sinai Peninsula back on October 31st. The image, as you can see, is a bomb hidden inside of a soda can. And this to report to you, members of the band Eagles of Death Metal say they are home safe in the United States. The band was performing at the Batlacan Concert Hall during the attack. They say that they are absolutely devastated. I'm Jonathan Elias at the Terrorism Alert Desk in Washington.
Iowa's Catholic bishops are asking Governor Terry Branstad to reconsider his stance on accepting and placing Syrian refugees. This follows Governor Branstad's announcement Monday about joining the list of governors trying to block migrating Syrians following the recent terrorist attacks in Paris. Now, the bishops place welcoming the homeless and aiding the vulnerable as a, quote, fundamental part of their faith, end quote.
Now, your exclusive 7 Storm Team forecast.
And it was a cloudy, cool, kind of a raw day out there today as that cold front passed through and cooler air moved in from the west. We're looking at that temperature dropping through the afternoon, and now we are down into the upper 40s. Winds, you might have noticed them out there right now from the south-southwest at 20 miles per hour. Definitely a blustery day. We take a look across the tri-states. It's been a little warmer out to the east there where that sun did manage to come out, but you guys are still holding on to the 50s. The rest of us now in the 40-degree range. There's the satellite and radar. You can see those clouds beginning to thin out. Looks like the bulk of the shower activity will stay to the north. I think we'll continue to stay dry through the rest of the evening. We'll gradually see those clouds clear out and thin out and then allow that temperature to drop. It's going to be a chilly night tonight. Temperatures getting down to the lower 40s by midnight. That wind will stay with us from the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow, lots more sunshine, but our temperatures will struggle to only reach the upper 40s. And another powerful system takes aim on the tri-states. I'll show you what that means for our forecast. That's coming up in my full forecast in just a few minutes. Ross, Raja?
Thanks, Dave. Well, a Montrose, Iowa couple might be able to breathe a little easier. They've heard from Roquette and Keokuk about the dumping of foul waste right across the street from their home. Let's bring in KHQA's Jack Pluta, who's been following the story we first brought you last week. And Jack, I know Roquette released a statement to KHQA today. What did it have to say?
Well, Ross, Ron and Linda Kay explained to me their issue of foul waste being dumped a few hundred yards away from their home. They say because of the smell, they spend most of their time indoors. Now, after our story last Friday, Roquette issued a statement to KHQA today. In the statement, a Roquette representative found the application company is operating within the company's permit. However, it continues to say land application is coordinated by a private business that contracts with Roquette to haul and apply these nutrients on local farmers' fields. While we are concerned to hear of the odor issue reported by Mr. and Mrs. K and will be contacting them shortly to better understand their specific situation. Now, KHQA will continue to follow this developing story. Reporting live in studio, I'm Jack Pluta, KHQA News.
New tonight, the Quincy Medical Group is having the grand opening of its new Seizure Support Resource Library. The event starts at 6 and aims to help bring an educational awareness to the epilepsy community in Quincy. The support group is located in the neurology department and will have educational and informational books. Co-chairman Crystal Johnson says the typical symptoms of epilepsy might be unnoticeable at times.
40 different types. People know the ones when you're on the ground. When you're not on the ground and you're still seizing and you're still living the same effects afterwards, people have no awareness of that.
And according to the Epilepsy Foundation, about 2.5 million people in the U.S. have epilepsy.
With the holiday shopping season starting in just more than a week, we have found the worst toys of 2015. That's according to safety experts. Don't miss KHQA's Jenny Drasler in a special report coming up.
And still ahead, we all know that the cold weather can be hard in your vehicle. So what can you do to winterize to save you money in the long run? I will have that report coming up next.
I'm Officer Kelly Vandermaiden with this week's Crime Stoppers Fugitive of the Week. We need your help to find 36-year-old Michael D. Horn. He's a white male, 5 feet 8 inches tall, and weighs 160 pounds. He has brown hair and green eyes. His last known address was in the 200 block of Columbus Street in Columbus, Illinois. Michael Horn is wanted by the Adams County Sheriff's Department for failure to appear unlawful possession of meth. If you know where tonight's fugitive can be found, please call the Quincy Regional Crime Stoppers hotline at area code 217-228-4474. You can also text TIPS, QRCS, and your information to 274637. You can also submit a tip by going to quincycrimestoppers.com. If an arrest is made based on your tip, you'll be eligible for a cash reward.
You're watching KHQA News at 5, working for you.
The official start of holiday shopping is Black Friday. That is the day after Thanksgiving, and it's only about a week away. Can you believe it, Ross?
That's hard to believe. Yeah, so you're probably working on getting your shopping lists together.
That's right, and in the frenzy of figuring out what to get for others, you might overlook what safety experts call the worst toys of 2015. But KHQA's Jenny Drasler has you covered. She joins us from the newsroom with a special report.
The holiday shopping season is just around the corner, and parents, before you head to the store to buy your kiddo their favorite holiday gift, you might want to listen up. Safety experts have just released the top 10 worst toys of 2015. Take a look at a couple of these toys. With the movie hot out of theaters, these Jurassic World Velociraptor claws, parents, you may want to watch out for, as they could pose a potential for eye and facial injuries. And parents, you may want to be careful before you give your kiddo this toy, a pull-along toy that could pose a potential choking hazard as the hubcaps on the wheels come off. Now, we just named a couple of the 10 worst toys of 2015. To find a full list and what's wrong with them, head to KHQA.com.
Well, the Quincy Mall has decked the halls for the upcoming holiday season. Today, Was Mallsgiving's Holiday Bingo. Quincy Mall gift cards and holiday turkeys were given away near the top and the bottom of each hour. Looking ahead, Mall Madness is 9 days away for Black Friday shoppers. $5,000 in Quincy Mall gift cards will be given away between 1 and 6 a.m. A minimum purchase of $50 or more is required to win.
You've got stores opening on Thanksgiving. You've got stores opening a little bit later on Thanksgiving. There are still certain stores who are steeped in tradition and won't open until, the following morning. So we're trying to take advantage of really all three of those different potential demographics and shopping patterns.
Now the mall's anchor stores will open as early as 5 p.m. Thanksgiving night. Last year, AAA estimated it rescued more than 1 million drivers during peak holiday travel time between December 23rd to January 4th.
It's a lot of drivers.
Yeah.
Now, as many Americans will be traveling to visit family and friends this holiday season, it's important you're sure your car is ready for that cold weather. KHQA's Abigail James joins us live from our KHQA parking lot. And Abby, I know you spoke with the service department of a local dealership today. Now, what did you learn about vehicle winterization today?
That's right. It's important to do these things early, especially because living in the Midwest, we have no idea how quickly that weather may be changing into snow. So to avoid being stranded on a dark highway this cold season, it's important to follow these few tips. First of all, be sure to get an engine checkup. Cold weather can make engine problems worse, so issues that seem minor now can actually cause you an expensive headache later on. It's also important to have a professional check the strength of your battery. Next, do away with those dull wipers. Not only are they just annoying, but they are dangerous. Since we're on the topic of windshield wipers, it's also a good idea to update your fluid.
Go to the retail stores, you'll find the fluid. It's going to say winter formula, and it's going to have a minus degree to actually go into protect and not freeze.
And also, it doesn't hurt to make sure your tank is filled up with gas. And for even more tips on how to winterize your car this season, tune into KHQA News at 6. Reporting live in Quincy, Abigail James, KHQA News.
And the first chances for snow are in that forecast. I'll show you when and where. That's coming up next.
It's no secret there are a lot of different kinds of tires. We've talked about them at length here on Auto Matters. But now that the season is changing, let's remind ourselves about how tires are affected by colder temperatures. If you have a performance car with sticky tires, colder temperatures mean you'll have less grip until you've driven a few miles. Keep that in mind before you hit your favorite twisty road. Also, your tire's air pressure drops with air temperature, about 1 pound of air for each 10 degrees. If you've not checked your tire pressure since it was in the 90s, you'll probably need to top them off. If you live with snow, it's getting time to change to your winter tires. And if you have any questions about your specific tires, never hesitate to stop by and talk with any of our trusted car care pros here in town.
Now, your exclusive 7 Storm Team forecast.
Yeah, welcome back, everybody. Our Sleep Tight weather view takes us just outside the station here on a cool, blustery evening. We saw those temperatures fall through the afternoon hours as that cloud cover really stayed pretty stubborn out there. And, well, a little cool air moving in behind that low pressure system that gave us, well, the rain the last few days. And we look at that almanac. Our temperature for a high was 64 degrees. It seems kind of warm for today. Well, that was set early on, just after midnight this morning, and the temperature has been falling since then. Our low 49 degrees. We're actually getting down just a little bit below that here in some parts of the tri-states already. So definitely entering a cooler phase here in terms of the weather. We'll look at the allergy report quickly here. Still a moderate concentration of the mold spore, a low concentration now of weed pollen, and Macomb sky cam still seeing the clouds around, although they're beginning to thin out a little bit here. Temperature has fallen into the upper 40s. That wind definitely getting blustery out there. Southwest right now at 16 miles per hour. Big factor in the weather. Clear air off to the east there. We've seen Jacksonville had some sunshine earlier, and now that the sun's gone down, we're still seeing those clear skies. It was warmer out there in the upper 50s earlier. The rest of us were in the 40s pretty much the entire afternoon. Now still seeing temperatures in the upper 40s for the tri-states right now. Here's the satellite and radar. You can see those clouds still moving in from the southwest. We see some showers up to the north there, but I think we're going to remain dry through the rest of the evening into the early night hours. You could see the last hints of that low pressure system off to the north there, and the big time rains now moving into the Ohio Valley. What's going to happen here is we're going to be looking to see high pressure start to build into our area, and that's going to really start to clear our skies out starting really tonight into early morning tomorrow. I think as we put this forecast in motion here, the high pressure will really start to dominate our weather pattern by early tomorrow afternoon. Again, that'll clear our skies out. See a lot of the sunshine, however, as that air moves clockwise around the high pressure, we're going to see those temperatures really struggle to get only, maybe not even into the 50s, maybe only into the upper 40s for highs. Now, the high pressure scoots off to our east pretty quickly, and guess what? Here comes our next big system starting late Friday. Now, we got to really watch this closely because depending on the track, we're going to see a mixed bag of precipitation. Right now, you can see as this low pressure system moves into Iowa, just to the east, we'll see some rain, and just to the northeast of it and to the north is where we're going to see it mixing in with snow as it filters in that colder air. So the question right now is, where will this low pressure system go? If it moves off to the north, maybe we'll only see a little bit of rain in our area with a quick transition to snow and nothing more, no significant accumulations. However, if this low pressure system tracks further south, we're going to see that snow accumulation at a higher clip, especially for our northern counties. And right now, that is where I'm expecting the biggest impacts from this low pressure system is going to be for the northern half of our viewing area. So stay tuned, and we'll give you more details as we go on. I'll give you more of an accurate forecast about snow totals tomorrow. As far as this weekend's concerned, much cooler air filtering behind maybe some last lingering rain and snow showers behind the front Saturday morning. Lows tonight will get down into the mid to upper 30s, and the high temperatures tomorrow only getting into the mid to upper 40s. So definitely a cooler day tomorrow as cooler air moves on in, and again, we're going to watch that next system moving in on Friday for the chance of rain and possibly some snow. And temperatures, they're pretty cold behind it. We could be dropping into the lower 20s by Sunday morning. So again, stay with us. We'll give you the latest information as it comes in.
All right. Well, Lynn Allen is with the McDonough District Hospital. She is here live in the studio to talk about a new caregiver support group. We will talk with her about some very important meetings coming up next on KHQA News at 5.
Watching KHQA News at 5. Working for you.
Lynn Allen is with the McDonough District Hospital, and she's here to tell you about some very important meetings, I think, that are very helpful. We are talking about caregiver support groups, and we've already had, not we've, but you have already had your meeting this month. But tell me about these support groups.
So we've decided to partner with Grand Prairie and Macomb and to offer some support groups for caregivers that are caring for older adults. Next month, our topic will be how to identify if your loved one is depressed or if they are just coping with seasonal blues and dealing with the struggles of holidays as you age.
We were talking before we came on about, you know, some of the issues that senior citizens face during the holidays. Can you kind of touch upon some of them?
So a lot of seniors struggle with changes and loss of loved ones and dynamics of family changing, and as I was telling you before, changing holidays, meals, and having to change schedules to get everybody together. So I tell seniors to not dwell on how things used to be and to kind of lower their expectations and to cherish the time that they have with their loved ones.
What is the benefit to having these meetings for caregivers?
The benefit is because these individuals have concerns that they need help navigating that other individuals are also going through. So it helps them to talk to their peers and see what other problems that people are having. And we decided to do it in the evening because a lot of these caregivers do work traditional jobs, so it's nice to be able to offer this in the evenings. And we also have opportunities for the caregivers to bring their older adults with them. We offer bingo because we know it is difficult to find someone to stay with them. So it is free and it's open to the public, and it's held every second Wednesday of the month from 5 to 6.
This is you have some great topics. I mean, in January, after the holidays are over, what is the topic then?
In January, the topic is what to do when living at home is no longer an option for your loved one and how to approach that. And
We all have to
transition.
face these topics,
Correct.
so I think it's really important to get this important information out there. Do people need to sign up for these meetings ahead of time?
No, they do not. They don't. So they can just show up. And I also go out in the community and educate on different topics. So if anybody would like a speaker or would like me to talk to their group, they can certainly call us at Senior Behavioral Health at McDonough District Hospital.
And are these topics listed on your website?
I believe they are. Yeah, they should be able to be utilized. Absolutely.
Okay. And what are some of the? Is there a cost actually, or can you just show up? Is it free?
It's free. It's free to the public. We do offer light refreshments and drinks, so it's completely free, and it's something that we just want to give back to the community.
All right, doing a great job.
Thank you.
And that, again,
Thank
that
you.
is the McDonough District Hospital. You can check on its behavioral health website for all the topics, and it meets once a month. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
All right, now here's a look ahead at what's coming up next on the CBS Evening News.
It's our 5th night in Paris, and tonight we have new details on this morning's dramatic raids. The question on everyone's mind is the alleged terrorist ringleader among the dead. And just who is Abdelhamid Abaoud? Our team in Brussels speaks with those who knew him. And with more than 100 Americans fighting with ISIS in Syria, we find out what's being done to keep them out of the U.S. We'll have those stories tonight on the CBS Evening News from Paris.
Here's a look ahead to KHQA News at 6. You might remember this man, Wallace Spence, from a KHQA special report last year. He was the man convicted in the case of Marvin the Mummy. That's when a man was killed and his body dumped in rural Adams County in 1985. That case went unsolved for 23 years until Spence confessed. Well, tonight we take you to Ashland, Kentucky. That is where Spence nearly killed again last week. You'll hear from the woman who let Spence into her home and almost became a victim. That is tonight at 6. An odd story. I was very surprised to get a phone call this morning about him being back in the news, so don't miss that.
I'm very intrigued. I know you've been working on it all day.
It's quite interesting, and you know, there are some updates to the story. I know a lot of you probably remember that report, so hope you'll tune in for that and learn all the new information. That's going to do it for us here for KHQA News at 5. CBS Evening News straight ahead, and be sure to join us in a half hour.